Victorian England was a hub for ghost stories, both those that were imagined and some that may have had truth to them. But for all these tales of otherworldly specters, perhaps the strangest resident of the empire that the sun never set on was the legendary leaper known as Spring-Heeled Jack. The first report of Spring-Heeled Jack came out of London in October of 1837, when Mary Stevens was passing through Clapham Common, only to be accosted by a mysterious humanoid figure. The entity grabbed her in an immobilizing grip and even ripped part of her flesh with what Stevens described as claws that were as cold and clammy as a corpse. Despite the figure's claws and aggressive nature, he quickly fled the area upon hearing the girl yell, which attracted others nearby. Strangely, the very next day, a similar story came from a coachman nearby that said the entity had jumped in front of his carriage, prompting the coachman to crash, only to then laugh maniacally and leap over a 9-foot-tall wall, leading to the entity gaining the name Spring-Heeled Jack. Reports of Spring-Heeled Jack continued, and on January 9th, 1838, the Lord Mayor of London, Sir John Cowan, the Lord Mayor being different from the Mayor of London, Lord Mayor is more of a ceremonial position, addressed the public about a letter he had received from a resident of Peckham, London. The letter detailed various reports of some type of spectre that had been spotted near London and had even robbed various women of their senses. The Lord Mayor was skeptical about these stories, but members of the audience he was addressing confirmed that they had heard similar accounts. The Lord Mayor believed these sightings to come from the work of pranksters rather than anything supernatural. Cowan's public address was quickly covered by the papers, and the Lord Mayor was flooded with letters from his countrymen reporting similar happenings, with some including the razor-sharp claws mentioned by the first eyewitness. More reports of Spring-Heeled Jack would come out after this, with a woman named Jane Alsop claiming to see an entity with glowing red eyes, metallic claws, and the ability to breathe fire. Just over a week later, another woman, Lucy Scales, would report a frightening encounter with someone that also breathed blue fire, which was able to temporarily blind her. The amount of attention that these cases got resulted in Spring-Heeled Jack becoming a popular stock character in various plays at the time. Despite his notoriety rising, reports of Spring-Heeled Jack actually decreased during this period, until 1843 when they again spiked. Sightings would then die down, only to again spike in the 1870s, to the point of soldiers being stationed with orders to shoot the entity on sight. Allegedly, in August of 1877, there was a sighting where a guard did successfully tag Jack with a bullet to no effect, before he leapt off into the night. In the years after, sightings would continue, albeit less frequently, until eventually stopping completely. As far as what Spring-Heeled Jack actually was, no one's really sure. Skeptics at the time of the first reports, and in the modern day, have claimed that Spring-Heeled Jack was actually just a man, or more likely a few men, in costume looking for entertainment, but no convictions were ever made for the initial encounters, and not a single person has ever even been credibly accused of being the perpetrator behind the sightings. Another issue with this theory is that although certain talented circus performers can replicate the feat of appearing to breathe fire, the current world record vertical jump is 65 inches, a far cry from the nearly 10-foot leaps that gave Spring-Heeled Jack his name. Mass hysteria has also been proposed as a potential explanation by skeptics, which is a common way that non-believers will try to write off unexplained phenomena with a large number of eyewitnesses. In terms of more paranormal explanations, the sky's the limit. Demon, ghost, alien, or some other type of non-human entity have all been thrown around as possibilities. But even the truest of true believers haven't settled on an answer as to just what was stalking the streets of London during the beginning, middle, and end of the Victorian era. So, do you believe in the story of Spring-Heeled Jack? Let me know in the comment section below.